Time for the shout-out. Which of these famous African Americans served as a spy during the Civil War? Was it Frederick Douglass, George Washington Carver, Dred Scott, or Harriet Tubman? You've got 3 seconds. Go! Harriet Tubman served as a spy, scout, and nurse for Union military forces in South Carolina. That's your answer, and that's your shout-out.
Tubman wasn't alone. Hundreds of African Americans served as spies during that time, many of whom were slaves. Some even escaped to the North, only to go back to the South and risk being hanged in order to spy on the Confederacy. Barbara Starr examines how they carried out this espionage, which some say helped the North win the war.
Manassas, Virginia. Nearly 150 years ago, the Civil War Battle of Bull Run raged here. The North's Union Army almost shattered. But Abraham Lincoln's war effort was getting secret help from some remarkable spies. African American slaves and freedmen spying on the Confederacy, then telling the North what they knew. William Jackson was a slave hired out to Jefferson Davis, President of the Confederacy.
He simply was ignored.
Retired CIA officer Ken Dagler authored The Black Dispatches, a look at the little-known espionage African Americans conducted during the Civil War. Dagler says Jackson, like most slaves, was treated as little more than a piece of furniture, a critical mistake for his master.
So Jefferson Davis would hold conversations with military and Confederate civilian officials in his presence.
In 1861, Jackson fled north and told Union commanders about their enemy. Slaves were forbidden to learn to read and write, so they often relied on the African storytelling tradition to memorize crucial details. It made them perfect spies. No one was better at it than Robert Small, a slave who guided vital supply ships in and out of Charleston Harbor. He finally escaped.
A debriefing of him gave basically the Union forces there the entire fortification scheme for the interior of the harbor.
And the iconic Harriet Tubman. She ran the Underground Railroad bringing slaves north, but she went south many times just to spy.
Probably the height of her intelligence involvement occurred late in 1863 when she actually led a raid into South Carolina. In addition to the destruction of millions of dollars of property, she brought out over 800 slaves back into freedom in the North.
This was a stop on the Underground Railroad. Slaves were hidden inside here until their passage further north could be arranged. It was the espionage conducted by African American spies that helped the North win the war and helped so many slaves make it to freedom. Barbara Starr, CNN, Washington.
What a story, and what a way to wrap up our coverage of Black History Month. But just because February is coming to a close doesn't mean this subject is doing the same. You can head to the Spotlight section on CNNStudentNews.com. Use our learning activities to see how you can celebrate Black history all year long. While you are there, check out our viewing guide for Black in America. This documentary explores the experiences of today's Black Americans. An encore presentation of the two-part series airs this Wednesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern on CNN. Check it out. And before we go, we've got the newest look in letter carriers.